What's your name? Dave. Dave, the whole time I was preaching, I just saw the finger of God pointing at you in a good way. And there's a mark of a call of God on you, sir. You're called of God. There's a mark to serve God. Now you can be in business, but there's a mark to serve God. Your mouth was designed to preach the gospel. Everything about you can persuade men either this way or that way. But your heart got broken and paralyzed. And you just got mad at people and you said, to hell with this crap. And you went into isolation. You were called to preach the gospel, my friend. And just like the Apostle Paul, you're going to have a Damascus Road before the end of the year where you're going to have God visit you. He loves you. He's not mad at you. But the people, the money, the places, the adventures that are assigned to you, you're never going to walk into them until you say, the past is the past. The people of the past are the past. But I'm going to run towards you, God. And you got to let them go. You got to forgive them. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. Even that woman thing wasn't right. But God says, I have not changed my mind about the gift I put inside of you. He's never changed his mind. You know it deep inside. You know it. Now, Father, I pray right now that you give him his Damascus Road, that like the Apostle Paul, he will be a great man for his remaining days and seasons. Restitution is a word not much used in the scriptures today. But if you'll make restitution, God will make reformation. If you'll make, there it is right there, raise the music up, Father, touch this guy. And everything he's tolerated, it's not you, Father. Visit him in the night season. In Jesus' name, come on, raise it up, raise it up. More than a manager, you're a leader, my friend. Well, let's give the Lord a mighty hand of applause. Amen.
So I was in Pomeroy and went into a jewelry store, and the clerk there invited me to a service in West Virginia, in Charleston. So I went to the Rock first time and sat down, just got off work, and I was wearing my cowboy hat. The woman behind me at the end of the worship poked on my shoulder and she said, "Nice hat." I said, "Thank you." And she said, "No, you don't understand." She turned to her daughter, and her daughter was crying. And her daughter's boyfriend was beside her. And she said, she was giving me a hard time about there is no God, and there's no, why do you go to church? Why do you do all these things? And yeah, I'll go with you, but I'll tell you what, I'll prove to you, Mom, that there is no God. And if there's a God, then a guy will be wearing a cowboy hat in the service right beside us or right behind us. And she told me that story, and her daughter was crying, and I looked at her daughter, I said, "Is that right?" And she said, "Yeah." And so God proved his love for her through me, not even knowing, we never met, never been to the church before. And then God moved with us.
And then what happened when you came up for your prophetic word?
I came up for the word, and my wife and I had been in ministry church planting, and I got hurt real bad and was walked away from the church under good conditions. But I swore I'd never go back into ministry again. I would love Christ, but we would never serve him again. And I was called up front in a church I'd never been to before, in a service I should have never been to. And
wearing a hat you should have never wore.
Wearing a hat I should have never wore. And the word came forth that that there was a mark on me, that I was called, that my mouth was formed to proclaim the gospel, and that I had been hurt. I had said, "To hell with this," which was exactly the words that I said, and that I had been running, and that God wanted me back in the ministry, wanted me back, but first I had to make restitution. And so we're just seeking God on exactly what does that stand for, and how, other than me returning back, what does that mean? So we couldn't be more excited. So we came out tonight to Columbus, Ohio, to just come and be a part of what God is doing. This is my wife, Teresa. So we were able to be together tonight.
Man, that's awesome. Here, let me get you to stand together.
Sure.